As expected, the ripples from that federal indictment earlier this month just keep coming. 7 Baltimore officers were indicted on extortion, robbery, overtime, and fraud. Now, many of their cases that are either going through court or ended up in convictions are getting a much-needed second look. ABC 2 News investigative reporter Brian Kubler here now with how Baltimore State's attorney is handling some of these cases. Brian?
Kelly, as a general rule, the state's attorney's office can individually corroborate these crimes without relying entirely on the testimony of those officers. It will. But many of these cases only list some or all of those tainted cops, and so their cases continue to drop. April Sims walked out of Courthouse East this afternoon with a clean slate. In July, she was arrested on drug charges by 3 of the 7 indicted officers. Today, that case was dismissed.
I'm just glad that it's over with. I'm happy that it's over with. I'm happy that my name is cleared. You know, I'm just ready to just get back to my businesses and just pretty much just get to work.
She is just the latest in a long line of accused watching the charges against them disappear. Sims, who is prevalent on social media and owns several beauty shops in Baltimore, was arrested after Sergeant Jenkins and detectives Herschel and Gondo searched her Canton apartment. This is video of that search. You can see Jenkins here entering the property wearing no police gear at all. Then coming back with Herschel, who flashes a piece of paper, and the two, along with Gondo, then go upstairs only to come back down with boxes. This video raised many questions for both Sims and her attorney, including wanting to see that warrant these officers used to gain entry. They're questions that might be legally moot after today, but ones Sims wants answered.
I'm happy that those cops were pretty much brought to justice, and again, like I have questions.
Questions for whom?
Merlin Mosby. I want to ask some questions.
It is incumbent upon us as ministers of justice to do what's right and to pursue justice over convictions.
The Baltimore State's attorney answered limited questions today in a press conference she called to announce her task force related to the indicted officers. Looking back to January 2015, Mosby says that task force found more than 50 active cases that are compromised by these officers and 150 former convictions that now may be vacated. Mosby says they've dismissed 30 active cases so far.
That is definitely a consideration and a priority for this office, and it will continue to be.
But for Sims, her case didn't feel like a priority. While not in jail this whole time, she felt these charges that were dropped nearly a month after this indictment caused much damage to her reputation as an entrepreneur.
My character, my businesses, you know, everything was just in jeopardy. So I just want to know, like, what's really going on.
Now, the state's attorney's office said today it has a system in place to identify all these cases that rely on the credibility of these indicted officers. But like with everything, it's not perfect. Mosby says priority has been given to those cases where defendants remain incarcerated. Meanwhile, the Office of the Public Defender is saying anyone convicted on the word of these officers since 2015 may be eligible to have that conviction vacated. For a list of resources on who to contact if your case is related to these officers, log on to our website at abc2news.com.